When the day of Pentecost had come, they, the apostles, were all together in one place. And suddenly, from heaven, there came a sound like the rush of a violent wind, and it filled the entire house where they were sitting. Divided tongues, as of fire, appeared among them, and a tongue rested on each of them. All of them were filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak in other languages as the Spirit gave them ability. Now, there were devout Jews from every nation under heaven living in Jerusalem. And at this sound, the crowd gathered and was bewildered because each one had heard them speaking in their native language. Amazed and astonished, they asked, "Are not all these who are speaking Galileans? And how is it that we hear, each of us, in our own native language? Parthians, Medes, Elamites, and residents of Mesopotamia, Judea and Cappadocia, Pontus and Asia, Phrygia and Pamphylia, Egypt, and the parts of Libya belonging to Cyrene, and visitors from Rome, both Jews and proselytes, Cretans and Arabs. In our own language we hear them speaking about God's deeds of power." All were amazed and perplexed, saying to one another, "What does this mean?" But others sneered and said, "They are filled with new wine." But Peter, standing with the 11, raised his voice and addressed them. "Men of Judea and all who live in Jerusalem, let this be known to you, and listen to what I say. Indeed, these are not drunk as you suppose, for it is only 9 o'clock in the morning. No, this is what was spoken to you through the prophet Joel. In the last days it will be, God declares, that I will pour out my Spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. Even upon my slaves, both men and women, in those days I will pour out my Spirit, and they shall prophesy." This is the word of the Lord.
Our second reading is a poem called "What's in the Temple" by Tom Barrett. In the quiet spaces of my mind, a thought lies still, but ready to spring. It begs me to open the door so it can walk about. The poets speak in obscure terms, pointing madly at the unsayable. The sages say nothing, but walk ahead, patting their thigh, calling for us to follow. The monk sits, pen in hand, poised to explain the cloud of unknowing. The seeker sits just around the corner from the truth. If she stands still, it will catch up with her. Pause with us here a while. Put your ear to the wall of your heart. Listen for the whisper of knowing there. Love will touch you if you are very still. If I say the word God, people run away. They've been frightened. Sat on till the Spirit cried uncle. Now they play hide and seek with somebody they can't name. They know he's out there looking for them, and they want to be found, but there's all this stuff in the way. I can't talk about God and make any sense. And I can't not talk about God and make any sense. So we talk about the weather, and we are talking about God. I miss the old temples where you could hang out with God. Still, we have pet pounds where you can feel love draped in warm fur and sense the whole tragedy of life and death. You can see there the consequences of carelessness, and you feel there the yapping urgency of life that wants to be lived. The only things lacking are the frankincense and myrrh. We don't build many temples anymore. Maybe we learned that the sacred can't be contained. Or maybe it can't be sustained inside a building. Buildings crumble. It's the Spirit that lives on. If you had a temple in the secret spaces of your heart, what would you worship there? what would you bring to sacrifice? What would be behind the curtain in the Holy of Holies? Go there now.